welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
I'm Matthew, and behind me is the newest iteration of a car that I think I, more so than Dave, are really familiar with the previous generation. This is the all-new Hyundai Kona.
That's right, you did it. You actually have reviewed a lot of Konas. Anyway, Matthew's right, it's the new Kona. It's bigger inside and out. It's smarter as far as the tech goes. It's also got a very much an EV face, or a cyborg face, depends what you're looking for. And also it comes with a massive range, and also a bit of a good range as well. Let's take a look at this. Now I'll go more into the range very soon, but essentially the Kona has been a very, very important vehicle for Hyundai. It was initially launched in 2017, and since then they've sold in New Zealand alone 11,781 units. It's pretty precise, but there you go. And that equates to between 25 and 30% of their actual vehicle turnover. So you can tell this is a popular vehicle. And when I say it's grown, it has actually grown in all dimensions, and also it's grown in, I mean, obviously it's grown in popularity as well. But let's take a little look around this vehicle. So up the front here, people are calling this a cyborg face or something like that, and that's down to this massive light strip that goes across here, LEDs and all that sort of stuff, but also makes a really good face at night, particularly because the headlights have now been moved right to the edge and dropped down, so you've got your DRLs and your headlights right to the extremes here. The minimization of the grille is so it doesn't really look like a grille anymore, and these slats are intelligent, so they open and close when they need to make sure there's airflow going through to the engine to keep it cool. But as you can see, it is a very modern face, and what they're saying, or what Hyundai is saying, is it really doesn't matter now if it looks of an EV or a petrol version or ICE version or a hybrid version. They all look the same. Now I'll put up the dimensions on the screen actually as I speak anyway, but in terms of size, it's now 145 millimeters longer, 20 millimeters wider, 25 millimeters wider, and 20 millimeters taller. So those of you who've got the original Kona or the previous generation Kona, you have to just expand out your garage that a little bit more. The other thing is the wheelbase is a little bit bigger as well. So what you've got inside, which Matthew will show you soon, but you've got 34 millimeters of extra shoulder room, and those in the back has actually got 77 millimeters of extra leg room. So I'll be lost in there, I'll tell you. Looking around the design as well, you've now got these thicker wheel arches around here, so a little bit more dominant from there. We've got 19-inch feet because this is the N line, so it's the posh one. And also, well, actually what you've still got is, if you can look at it here, the big Z, so Zorro, so a big Z across the design here, nice sills and some more wider arches on the back here, so pretty good looking. Now as we have the N line, it comes with this look at this spoiler, or actually twin spoilers. It's very cool and very dramatic. I like it. Doesn't necessarily make it go any faster, but it does make it look cooler, which in turn makes it go faster. You've got a Formula One sort of spot brake light here, which I think is quite cool. Privacy glass, a wiper. Your Hyundai badge is now flush, so it's now two-dimensional rather than three-dimensional, and for those that can spell out K-O-N-A, it's all big now and all spelled out and wide. You've also got this massive wide, actually emphasizing the width, so this LED bar here, and again the lights have moved right out to the far sides either end. Your lower valance here, or your rear diffuser, is actually fake and cosmetic, but still looks cool, and also tailpipes that do actually work, and depending on which model you have, they can be double, one, single, or not even there at all, so they're pretty cool. In here you actually get access to 470 litres of boot space, and it's actually quite roomy, but you know, the thing that's actually got more room is what's under the bonnet, so let's go there. Now it's probably time to talk about the range that I've promised telling you about, and as I say, it is quite extensive. There are 3 powertrains, so you've got a 2-litre married to a CVT, and you've got a hybrid, which just quietly is actually probably the best powertrain, married to a 6-speed gearbox. And then you've got this one, which is a 1.6 litre turbo married to an 8-speed automatic. What this gives you is 146 kilowatts of power and 265 newton meters of torque. So it's pretty good. There is a considerable amount of turbo lag. And then when it comes to fuel efficiency, it's 8.5 litres per 100 kilometers. And out of those twin exhausts, just quietly 194 grams of CO2. So it is quite thirsty. Not the most sort of politically correct engine. And honestly, as I say, should pretty much go for the hybrid as far as I've driven it, but not bad. I do enjoy it, don't get me wrong, and we'll tell you more about that when we drive. But anyway, speaking of something that needs a turbo, Matthew's inside and he'll show you what's going on in there.
Yeah, sure, at this late hour of the day I might need a turbocharge, but frankly, I should be, with all this red in the cabin, I should be feeling electric. Alright, there we go, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to talk later about how well acquainted I am with the previous generation Kona, but for now let's stick to the interior of this new model. As Dave said, this is obviously the N line, which means it is the sort of luxury model which comes with all the sporty and luxury trim, and yes, that's obvious on the outside, but once you get in the car it becomes even more apparent through things like these seats, for example, where you have sporty seats with a suede type feeling material. You've got the N logo embossed on the seat back. There's contrast red stitching going on. You've got this red line going all through the air vents and the dash, right from coast to coast, which is pretty cool. As you can see, there's plenty of light in here as well, which means we've got a single panoramic sunroof above. And yeah, as it's just a very sort of sporty feeling car, and it comes down to the steering wheel as well, which I'll get to in a minute. But obviously the Kona is not just about feeling sporty and driving well and all of that. It's also about being practical, and Hyundai have certainly, with the expansion of size that comes with this new generation car, there also comes an expansion in its practicality and its usability. So looking to the passenger side, you've got a nice little storage space up there with some grooves in it to hold your stuff. You've got a decent sized glove box. You've got some pretty cavernous sized door bins. This sort of center console area here has been completely redesigned. So you've got space for your phone in there, which is actually supposed to sit sideways like so. You've got this massive open area here with your two cup holders, plenty of more open space, some more here, and then you can lift this armrest as well and this removable cubby to reveal some more. So they really have thought about using this space intelligently. While we're here, there is a little sort of nook for your key, and take a look at the key. It's got, in the design, there is an actual Hyundai badge sort of, I guess, neatly integrated in there, which is a nice little design feature. Now, this all-new infotainment screen, as you can see there, compared to the previous generation that Hyundai used, the interface has changed quite a bit. You've got this sort of home screen look over here with your map, your audio and your phone connectivity, and then if you swipe across you'll see just 4 different sort of, I guess, settings or sub menus, if you like, rather than the previous sort of app tray look it used to have. Swipe back there and you can swipe down and access a few quick shortcuts and things just like you would on a phone. Do so there, click those 3, and then you can see the online manual and the settings of your personal profile as well, all really easily available on this screen here. But when you swipe across there, the key thing to note here is in the settings. Once you dive in there, look at how much different customization options you have available to you, right from the vehicle to, of course, voice recognition, and the lot. Obviously, one of the key ones that you might want to play around with quite a bit is with the layout there, where you can change between drive modes, or you can choose your gauge style and graphic style and all of those things. So there is certainly plenty of customization and plenty of tech interactivity going on with this screen here. Now, in front of the driver sits this gauge cluster, as you can see here, fully digital. I've got it set up in the more traditional look. Right now you can have the speedo on the left, rev count on the right, and of course your trip information and various other information screens in the middle, which you can toggle, of course, with the steering wheel. But before I get there, I actually want to remark on the different modes, both the drive and the terrain modes that the Kona offers, because there is a lot to go through. So if I push the dial in the middle, within drive you can see sport, which changes the gauge cluster instantly. You can also go to normal, which I had it in before, or you can go to eco, where again the color and the theme changes like so. Now if I push the button and move into terrain, now I can go into snow, mud or sand, and you can see there it changes various things like the hill descent control, and sort of a little bit about the dials too. So it really does, I guess, adapt in a way, and with this all-wheel drive system that this new Kona N-Line has, it is extremely capable as well, certainly more so than the previous generation could. Now I did mention about the customization for the screen in front. So if you take a step back with me to this steering wheel, as you can see it's got an N badge on it and feels really sporty. You can actually push this button in the middle, or rather this button here, to change what you can see in the middle, right from your trip information to a compass, as well as your sort of car's position on the lane. Buttons, of course, as you saw on the left side, you do have your adaptive cruise, your lane keep assist, your forward collision, all of that stuff. And then on the right side you have your various audio and sort of call functionality. Notice how on the steering wheel it does not have a Hyundai H badge. Well, that's because the set rather of 4 dots in this dash here is actually sort of an H in Morse code. So there you go, there's a fun fact for you if you didn't know that already. As I said before, and Davis pointed out as well, with this new N-Line, Hyundai have really upped their game for the Kona in terms of the luxury aspect. And you certainly feel that when you're sitting in the back here, because you've got more of this suede feeling material, you've got more contrast red stitching, and it's not just the front 2 seats that have heating, because the rear 2 seats also have seat heaters, which can be activated via a little button in the door. So there you go, there's certainly a premium feel in here. You've got obviously your center armrest that drops down, 2 cup holders, you've got 2 USB-C chargers there as well, plus some air vents and some storage bits here and there for the rear seat occupants. But what I really want to touch on here is the space. Now, if you're looking down the camera and you think, well, this looks rather large to be a Kona, you're, well, not wrong to suspect that, but as Dave covered, the amount of increase that's gone on here dimensionally means that now, if I sit back with this seat that's pretty much fully as far back as it can go, I have so much of knee room there. Look at the headroom I've got, and I'm comfortably within the lines here. That means that you could easily have a third person sitting in the middle here too. So they really have expanded it on all fronts to give you that much more space on the inside.
Well, it certainly sounds quite powerful, although it does, as I said before, have a little bit of a turbo lag, but you know, well, we can't all be perfect, right?
That's true. And speaking of things that I guess they're trying to change and trying to find their perfect, is in the placement of the gear shifter. Now, for those of you who are observant and have been watching our video so far, you would have noticed that when I covered the bit in the center console, it was missing, well, how should we say, the elephant in the room, which is obviously a gear shifter and a handbrake, if you like. So what they've done is follow the cue of the Ioniq series of cars and move that to the steering column, as well as the handbrake button, of course, is now on the driver's side in the corner over there. So that has certainly played a massive part in freeing up the space in the middle.
Yeah, and then as I said before, there's an extra 34 millimeters of space between the two of us, which actually I'm quite happy with. I don't know about you, but that's fine. The drive itself, I've been driving this now for around about a week, and it is it's actually really quite secure and very nice, very stoic on the road. The cornering is really very, very up there, and the steering's good too. So there's a lot of poise, a lot of stuff has gone on underneath here to make this a really, really nice car.
100% for a crossover like this, you know, in this category, the N-Line certainly offers as sporty of a flavor as you can have with the Kona range right now, because the N model is no more. And I'd like to have a moment of silence for that, because it was a fantastic car. And I guess, as Dave normally talks about his holidays and all of that stuff, I'm going to talk about my experience with the Hyundai Kona range, because with the last generation, I got to review the Elite model, the 2-liter. I got to review the electric, the hybrid, the N-Line, and the N. So that's 5 different Kona models. And I can say that, with that experience, I am really enjoying this new N-Line model, because I think they've taken a lot of the best bits from all of those different cars and sort of scattered them across the range, as well as across this N-Line model with this new generation.
Are you finished? Gee.
Yeah, I think that's, I'll leave it there for now.
But actually, aside from the actual pure thoroughbred N, they've sort of relaunched all of them in one different package. So you really do have the option to choose whichever powertrain you want, whatever styling you want, even what exhaust system you want. There's so much going on that it really has got a massive range. And when it comes to range, I said I'd bring this up again. The hybrid is the one to go for, because you've got obviously you're plenty of range from the Powertrain system that goes on. And this one does chew through the fuel a little bit too quickly.
That's true. For a 1.6 liter turbo, it's been surprisingly, I guess, I'm not going to say inefficient, because it's not been that, but it's not been as efficient as one would expect from this sort of powertrain, especially considering the fact they have also changed the gearbox with this generation to an automatic rather than a dual clutch, and added some more gears too. So theoretically it should be more efficient, but it isn't. So there's that. Going back to what Dave said about the range, he's exactly picked up on why the Kona has been so popular with New Zealanders, is because of exactly that, the range and the versatility on offer. You can have several different powertrains, you can have trim lines, you can have obviously the colors, options list goes on, and that sort of versatility has made it really popular, allowing for everyone from retired sort of geriatrics through to younger active people who want to get a surfboard in the back, all of that stuff, to be I guess buyers of the Kona. And I certainly have seen that on the road too.
The tech comes at you really well. The driver aids, or the safety systems, they do pop up. You may have heard the pings every now and again as I've touched over the speed limit around here. It does annoy a little bit, and it is easy enough to switch off, but it's also not as loud and aggressive as some of the other vehicles. So it is livable. So some people won't bother switching them off. I still do, but on the whole, it's pretty good. Sound system's good as well. Nice strong beats, and like I said, it feels like it should be a sportier version of itself, and maybe they will bring back the N. I don't know. They should though.
I guess for now though, we have to put up with this N-Line, and it certainly doesn't disappoint in that sense. Put up with this probably being too harsh on the car, because it is a really nice, I think, all-around package in the way that it gives you, enough of space, certainly quite a bit of space, I should say, as well as a good sort of chassis, and a bit of fun in the corners, as well as the ability to just tootle around town and, be a normal crossover sort of vehicle. So, and not to mention the pinging and bongs and all that stuff make it very safe as well. Yeah.
All right, all of it. It's like so who needs a sound system? You can play the safety sound systems.
Forget the Bose audio. You've got the safety warnings playing its own tune over there.
So there you have it, the new Hyundai Kona. Series 2, 3, I don't know what series we're up to anyway, but it is a remarkable extension of to where it was, and it already was a very popular vehicle. You get the choice of powertrains, the choice of colors, the choice of trims, the choice is endless, so the choice is yours, and it's, yeah, like I said, a really big upgrade from where it was.
It's been a popular car, I guess, in many of Hyundai's markets around the world, and certainly we can say so in New Zealand here. And that's I think full credit for that goes to the range and the versatility it's able to offer people in this segment. So I think from that standpoint, this new generation car checks all those boxes. So well done.
And I'm enjoying the extra space away from Matthew. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.